West Ham appear to have a very difficult afternoon ahead of them in Wales. Wrexham are a club with a fine tradition in recent years for felling the mighty.
Rocastle took it away from Owen. Oh, Mercy. Oh, he's run outside Sartori. Now, surely, yes! Alan Smith saves Arsenal's blushes with 1 minute to go to half-time. Now, 11 is Phillips, 5 there is the captain, Mickey Thomas. I wonder if Mickey Thomas feels he's got a score to settle against Arsenal. Lost in a cup final against them when he played for Manchester United. And it's Thomas who takes it. Oh, what a goal, Mickey Thomas! He's done it, the magic little man at the venerable age of 37. Six minutes left. Watkin. Oh, he scored! Steve Watkin has got a goal! And Arsenal face humiliation.
Connolly. Ipswich defenders just stood off for a second. Connolly to cross to Durkin. Durkin on the volley. Oh, brilliant goal by Kieran Durkin. 6 minutes to go. Lenigan is up. They're all either in the penalty area or on the side of the penalty area. Header comes in, and it's an equaliser. Lenigan gets the header. What drama here. Ipswich, 1 minute, seem to have saved the game. Gary Bennett has already scored 8 times from the penalty spot this season. Bennett, and it's there! Gary Bennett! What drama indeed here at the racecourse!
Ipswich, of course, in those days were a Premier League outfit. But thanks to a lot of hard work, today's game at Wrexham goes ahead. The pitch, the Racecourse Ground, may not be perfect, but it's playable. And we can go there now, where Wrexham manager Brian Flynn is with John Champion.
So, Brian, that's the magic of the FA Cup. Is it a snowy day in Wrexham?
Yes, it's we're delighted, obviously, the game's on. The lads have worked hard this morning, but the pitch is soft underneath. We've left, as you can see, a layer on the pitch, a layer of snow, but it's lovely.
Would you choose to play on this surface against a Premiership team?
No, not really. We would like to have been perfect, because the pitch has been playing really well this season. There's plenty of grass on it. We would have liked it flat and perfect, but unfortunately that's the way it is. You know, the weather rules, I suppose.
On an occasion like this, where West Ham are struggling, they've got 1 or 2 problems, we're told, with foreigners, they've got injuries, do you start as favourites?
Well, that's the danger, isn't it? You know, but saying that, because of our reputation in the FA Cup and what's happened in recent years, people will look at it like that. I don't think so. I mean, 9 times out of 10 West Ham will beat us, but this is the 3rd round of the FA Cup, and the unexpected can happen. But what we want is a good game. It'll be a full house. We want everybody to enjoy themselves and a cracking cup tie.
And another Steve Watkin winner, ideally, like Arsenal.
Well, I mean, it's been said many times that goal helped change the course of the football club, because the previous season we'd finished bottom of the league. We were 92nd and Arsenal were champions. And not just the financial aspect of it, but it gave the whole place a lift. And we've come on quite a way since then. But it would be nice. Steve's playing again today. He enjoyed that game. He had a lot of adulation, a lot of tributes, and hope he can repeat it. I hope history can repeat itself.
In fact, the 4th of January is a fairly special day in your FA Cup history, because that was 5 years ago that you beat Arsenal. Can you remember what you were doing 22 years ago today?
Thank you for reminding me, John. Yeah, that's the other side of it, isn't it? We played Wimbledon. I was at Burnley at the time. We were then 3rd in what would be now the Premier Division. Wimbledon were in the Southern Division, which is, you know, like the Conference League. And they came to Turf Moor and beat us 1-0. And it was a game that, like the FA Cup, throws up heroes, you know. And a certain Dickie Guy was in goal for Wimbledon at the time, and it was absolutely fantastic on the day.
I wonder who today's hero will be. Good luck.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you.
Testing day for West Ham's foreign contingent today. Doesn't look very appealing, that
They
pitch,
wouldn't fancy that, Gary, too much, would they? Going out on that pitch. I can't see how that's perfect for West Ham. You know, I saw the match against Stockport, and they didn't really enjoy that, and that was only the rain. Now they'll need the mittens on, the tracksuit bottoms on.
Woolly hats the lot.
Yeah, woolly hat the lot, yeah.
Real welcome to the FA Cup.
They'll get a rude awakening there. You know, you look at that pitch and you say, can that be right for football? It's going to be a great level of that. That will bring the leagues so close together.
That's right.
Good evening. Only fools or the brave fancied playing in today's conditions. No fewer than 13 of the afternoon's Littlewood's third-round cup ties were called off. But the Racecourse Ground at Wrexham was past fit, after a fashion, for the second division side to entertain West Ham. The balloon had gone up at St Andrews so that Birmingham could face Stevenage Borough from the conference. And of course at Highbury there was that nice underground heating to keep the pitch in condition for Arsenal against Sunderland. Those are our three main games. Adrian Heath was a cup winner with Everton today. He took Burnley to Anfield. Jeff Thomas captained Crystal Palace in the 1990 final against Manchester United. After a long period of injury, he was in the Wolves team at home to Portsmouth. Reports on how they both got on. We'll have the other cup goals. There's the goal of the month competition. And our resident cup winners, Alan and Trevor, will be having their points of view. Well, 5 years ago to the day, Wrexham knocked Arsenal out of the cup, a famous upset. Their visitors today, West Ham, in the middle of an anxious period with just one win in 11 games. Add the conditions to that, and you had the makings of another turn-up. The commentary comes from John Champion.
Here's a rare sight, a racecourse that's escaped the freeze. The pitch has been insulated for 4 days by a layer of snow, and when the referee Mike Reed took a look at 8 o'clock this morning, he found the turf soft enough for a moulded stud. And so we have blue lines, an orange ball, and a fairly unhappy West Ham manager. Harry Redknapp would have liked a better surface, but he knows better than most that days like this are part of the FA Cup's unique appeal. Redknapp's team lacks the injured Bilic, so Steve Potts turns out for the 400th time. Steve Jones is preferred up front to Florin Raducoiu, and John Moncur returns in midfield. Wrexham's team more or less picked itself. There are 2 full internationals, the goalkeeper Marriott and Brian Carey at centre-back. Brian Hughes has already scored 4 times in their cup run, but only one player was actually born in Wales. And 5 years ago today, Steve Watkins scored Wrexham's most famous goal, the one that accounted for Arsenal. Everything would appear to be in place for an upset. West Ham struggling near the foot of the Premiership. Wrexham, for their part, have knocked out 6 teams from the top flight in the last 20 years of FA Cup competition. At the right-hand end of the pitch as we look out is the hardest part, and significantly Wrexham lost the toss, and that's why they're defending that end in the first half. Early chance for Martin Chalk to run, and it just beat into the touchline. Dix with the throw. On by Brian Hughes. Morris, and Breaker's header. And now Chalk. With 3 players waiting, it's a corner off the outstretched boot of Dix. Wrexham's set pieces are always well worked, and they have plenty of height available to them as well. Here comes the corner, and that'll boost the confidence of Ludek Mikloško. It's a long throw, and it's picked out Steve Jones. Humes, the Wrexham captain. Williamson. And Porfirio, whose first touch of FA Cup action this is. Aiming for Michael Hughes. And over both him and Brian Hughes. Given away to Moncur. Michael Hughes. Michael Hughes, who scored in the 3rd round for West Ham last year when they beat Southend. Watkin. And Chalk has set off on a sprint down the right. Men are gathering in the centre for him. And Owen nearly got to it. Fortunately, from a West Ham viewpoint, Williamson just managed to nick the ball away. Here comes the corner. And he's managed to find the net. Brian Hughes has scored. Well, how did he direct that header wide of the defenders and into the corner of the net? There was a moment when the whole crowd held its breath collectively as Owen's corner came in and Brian Hughes was allowed to get in a header. There, just inside the post. And Brian Hughes is becoming the man for all conditions in the FA Cup. It's his 5th goal in 5 ties in this season's competition. Brian Hughes, only 20 years old, hails from Liverpool. In fact, he's an Evertonian, but he does have an eye for goal. And the second division side have the lead that they so wanted. And there is a happy chappy. Brian Flynn, the 4th longest serving manager in English football, or in his case, Welsh football. This is Michael Hughes. It will still be in West Ham's possession through Tim Breaker. Bishop. It's a ball forward to Moncur. Well, Porfirio was in there, and so was Steve Jones. And Wrexham didn't look too secure defending that low cross. It was a good cross, and in the end it was Carey that did ever so well to get there first. Watkin, decent leap. And surely Hughes was being fouled. He was, by Bishop. Whenever Wrexham win a free kick, memories come flooding back of Mickey Thomas 5 years ago today. Carey, Ward and Owen are the candidates to take it. And it's Ward that does take it. And it wasn't far wide. Peter Ward is a reasonably frequent scorer with that left foot, and McCloskey was scrambling to get across. Well, Harry Redknapp and Frank Lampard on the right there must be feeling that their worst fears are coming to pass. It's a testing goal kick by McCloskey, and it's on a corner off the head of Brian Carey. Williamson's kick. Dix. West Ham's leading scorer, Julian Dix. His is a presence with which you don't generally argue. Reaper. Owen. It's a good touch. Watkin. Owen. First save that McCloskey's had to make for quite a while. The FA Cup is a fickle competition. 22 years ago today, Brian Flynn was in the First Division Burnley team, beaten by Southern League Wimbledon at Turf Moor. Potts. And Marriott has come out and he's missed it. There was a bit of a shoulder charge. Porfirio! And it's in! Well, Andy Marriott, I'm afraid, has to take the lion's share of the blame. But credit must go to the little Portuguese international for seeing the opportunity and having the skill to take it with such finesse. Jones gave the goalkeeper a little nudge, but really he should have caught it. Porfirio had just an instant to assess the situation, and Carey on the line couldn't get back in time. In fact, the curling shot couldn't have been better placed. Look, up high enough, over the defender, under the bar, 1-1. Poor Andy Marriott on his club's big day. Ward, Bishop. And that's half-time. And Wrexham may feel a touch deflated after Porfirio's equaliser. Right on the end of 45 minutes, it was well taken. After Brian Hughes had given Wrexham a 6th-minute lead with a stooping header. Wrexham controlled the early stages. It's significant that there are 1 or 2 pats on the back of the head for Andy Marriott as he leaves the fray at half-time, because it was his mistake that has given us a scoreline of 1-1 at the midway point. Wrexham are nothing if not dogged. They've been behind 5 times in the 2.5 rounds of the cup competition that they've played so far, and they're still well involved in this season's FA Cup, so there's obviously plenty of heart and spirit to the side. They struggled to overcome the non-leaguers of Colwyn Bay in round 1 and 3rd Division Scunthorpe in the 2nd round. This is Watkin, Ward, and they haven't really picked up chalk. And there are 2 players in the middle. Dix missed it, Reaper didn't, fortunately for West Ham. It seemed to go right underneath Dick's foot. Brian Hughes. So nearly a chance for Wrexham to retake the lead in the opening seconds of this half. Carey. Reaper's header only as far as Brian Hughes again. Chalk. 3 in the middle. And a corner, although Wrexham were appealing for something more. Carey and Watkin waiting for the delivery from Gareth Owen. Watkin stepped over it, and Wrexham are going backwards just for the moment. Hardy, Ward, Carey of all people popping up virtually on the left wing. Phil Hardy, Owen, dispossessed by Michael Hughes. It's back with Wrexham and Brian Hughes. Watkin couldn't quite fall to Morris. Hard to tell whether Harry Redknapp's pleased or not. Reaper. It's fallen to Brian Hughes. Still going, Brian Hughes. No penalty. Mike Reid was quite clear about that. But here's Jones at the other end. Beyond Carey. Good save by Marriott. And a brave save as well. Away by Hughes. Well, Andy Marriott has saved Wrexham's day, for the time being at least, because Jones had got beyond Carey. Wrexham thought that they had a penalty, but did they? It was Brian Hughes who'd gone round and past a couple of players, and, well, that was inconclusive. Breaker. Jones, free header! So well delivered cross ball. Wrexham were nowhere defensively, and it's shaved the post. Porfirio, Bishop. Porfirio, Jones with a yard of space, enough to turn. Well, Wrexham stood off him sufficiently to allow him to control, turn and shoot. Dangerous. Reaper, Bishop, Porfirio. Still Porfirio. He was tumbled off the ball. Bishop. And look at the space that Michael Hughes has got. Wrexham are struggling here. Hardy away. Bishop. Thinking about a shot. Williamson. It's an awkward one for the keeper. Anxious moment still for Harry Redknapp. Porfirio. Moncur. Hardy. Breaker. Moncur's away. Jones going in for it. And it may well have flicked off Brian Carey. It did, it's a corner. Jones was inches away from making telling contact. The corner was flicked by Ward. Moncur.
The Wrexham.
Can his side sneak something right at the end? Russell. And West Ham have survived where so many big names in recent years have fallen. Harry Redknapp may well be a relieved man as he contemplates the prospect of an Upton Park replay on Wednesday week. The Wrexham faithful know that their side came close, but not close enough to causing an upset. Porfirio's goal on the stroke of half-time, cancelling out the early header by Brian Hughes, his 5th goal in the Cup this season. At that stage, it looked like the shock was on. West Ham were more resilient than maybe some people have given them credit for amidst their current troubles, and they lived to fight another day.
I thought we came in playing on a terrible pitch today. That really football shouldn't have been played on it. It's easy for me to say that now because we've come away with a fair result. We've got a chance at home, but and if I'd have got beat today, it would have been difficult for me to have said that, you know. But that pitch was never playable. It wasn't fit to play football on.
So how surprised were you that the game went ahead?
I couldn't believe it. We came down here this morning, looked at the pitch. It was covered in snow. The referee said leave the snow. And I mean, football's not meant to be played on snow, is it? Surely it's meant to be played on grass. And you told people all week to work and pass the ball. And to play and to move and to part, and it's all I told my players to do today was kick it. How can that be right? What has that got to do with football? I'm tempted to kick it the way they're facing, you know. But having said that, we went one down, and I thought, well, okay, everyone looks like it's a. I'm sure everyone was looking for a cup upset here today, but I thought we showed tremendous character.
The problem we had leading up to the game is everybody was saying that the problems that West Ham had or were having, and was starting to make us favourites for the game, and that was never the case. We've played well, we did our best today on a difficult pitch, and we've given our best, and I can ask no more from my lads.
Do you feel the draw was fair?
Yeah, I think it was a fair result. I don't think either side would deserve to win it or to lose it.
What is it about you and the FA Cup? You've scored, what, 5 times in the competition this season now?
5 times this year now. Scored in every round. 3 in the first against Colwyn Bay. Well, replay as well. And Scunthorpe in the next round, I got one there, and now again today. So just go get another one in the replay.
It was Hugo Porfirio's first taste of the FA Cup, and he took his chance well.
Well, it's the first time he's ever seen snow.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's never seen snow until like this period of snow that we've had. He's never seen snow in his life.
So what did he say when he turned up at the racecourse today?
Well, he couldn't believe that we English people were mad enough to play football on that.
Well, I must say I agree with everything that Harry said in that interview. It's ridiculous playing on a pitch like that, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's such an important game. It should never be played. There are many examples as well for the reasons. I mean, in those situations, you know, you get mistakes. This is very early on. It just bounces over Gary Owen's head and knocks it back to Tony Humes to knock it upfield. And, all right, you have a chuckle in the crowd when you see somebody do that. But this is an important cup tie. You know, it's a lot at stake, especially for West Ham Premiership team, you know, going into it. Look at that one bounce, it almost off the kneecap of Danny Williamson. Now, all right, goes miles from anyone, and you think at the moment they've got away with it, but it's not back, and Ludek then comes out and miscues his kick, and in the end it's got blocked. But, you know, those sort of mistakes, all right, they make for an exciting game, but it doesn't really make a good judgment. Here, look, he's in the grass. Porfirio, comes onto the snow and scuffs a terrible ball. Now, he is a skillful player, you wouldn't have thought so, and a sweeter left foot than Julian Dix you wouldn't expect to see. Now, that is his free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Well, it's just about stayed in Wales. But, I mean, you know, it's really a case, I think, of, you know, at that stage, saying, with the finance involved, an important FA Cup run, there's too much at stake. Don't play. I mean, you know, got no Reece meetings, but you play professional footballers on it.
It's good in a way that nobody got beaten, but Hammers will be pleased to get out alive.
Yeah, they came
everything
into
was stacked against them, really.
That's right. They've played, you know, they had a knocked out Stockport in the League Cup, poor couple of games, particularly against Forest in the league going into the match. They're without Bilic, and one of their best defenders. Concede a goal in the first 5 minutes and you think, oh no, he's going to be one of those days. But they battled back and in the end, all right, a little bit of help, but Furio came up with a goal and I think, you know, he's a quality player. He found it difficult having not seen Snow, as Harry Redknapp mentioned. There you see Andy Marriott come for a cross. That's, what, 8 minutes before the goal. He shouldn't have come. He clattered two of his defenders. He got away with it then. This, for me, is one on these conditions. There's no need. Steve Jones is marked here, you know, by Hughes. He steps out of the way, then he should have collected it as it happens. Hardy toe-ins it, and then you get Ward toe-in it. But there's a lot of skill, isn't there, in that chip. I mean, poor old Brian Carey backpedaling there, thinks I'm going to get this, but he just crept in under the crossbar. And I think West Ham did deserve it, without any bias, I've got to say. And the second half was fairly even, not many chances, and I think, you know, let's go back to another game. But now it does swing in West Ham's favour.
Snow or no snow, it was great vision by the Portuguese player. Now, before